Before moving further to financial leverage, we'll do a small illustration. Please note this down. A company produces and sells 10,000 shirts. The selling price per shirt is rupees 500. Variable cost is rupees 200 per shirt, and fixed cost is rupees 25 lakhs. We need to find operating leverage, and after finding operating leverage we have to interpret this. Okay, if sales are up by 10%, then what is the impact on EBIT? Okay, that is earnings before interest and tax. I hope this is quite clear. So let's move ahead. We'll draw the format. Particulars rupees. Here we'll write sales less variable cost. We'll get contribution less fixed cost. We'll get earning before interest and tax. So sales is 10,000 shirt into rupees 500, which is equal to 50 lakhs less variable cost. Variable cost is 10,000 shirts into 200, which is equal to 20 lakhs. Then contribution is equal to 30 lakhs, and fixed cost is provided in the question, that is 25 lakhs. So that means earning before interest and tax is 5 lakhs. So now what we need to find firstly is operating leverage. So we'll write operating leverage static formula. Operating leverage static formula. A recommendation from me is that do not write static formula or dynamic formula whenever you are solving sum in exam. Do not have that practice. I'm just explaining you so that you can easily identify which of the two formulas I am talking about. Okay, static formula. Operating leverage is equal to contribution divided by EBIT. So here contribution is equal to how much? 30 lakhs, and EBIT is equal to 5 lakhs. So which means that operating leverage is 6 times. So the first part we have completed. Okay, operating leverage is equal to 6 times. Our basic problem is solved. The first part is very simple. Now the second part is very important. If the sales are up by 10%, then what is the impact on EBIT? So we have to apply the dynamic formula, that is degree of operating leverage. So let's move ahead. Second, degree of operating leverage is equal to, first we'll write over here dynamic formula. Degree of operating leverage is equal to percent change in EBIT divided by percent change in sales. Okay, so degree of operating leverage we know what it is. It is 6, and percentage change in sales that is given in the question is if the sales are up by 10%. That means we will write 10 over here. First we'll write percent change in EBIT, and instead of percent change in sales we'll write 10%. So therefore percent change in EBIT is equal to 6 into 10%, which is equal to 60%. So now we will write our interpretation, which was quite sounding incomplete when we were doing it over here. Okay, so we'll write it over here. How we'll write? We'll write it like this: 1% change in sales brings about 6 times change in EBIT. Quite small and quite simple. There is no need of writing more than this. 1% change in sales bring about 6 times changes in sale. Therefore 10% change in sales brings about 60% change in EBIT, and vice versa. Vice versa means 60% change in EBIT brings 10% change in sales. You can also write this: 60% change in EBIT brings about 10% change in sales. I hope this is quite simple. So firstly, please pause the video and copy the illustration and solve it on your own if you wish to. Otherwise, copy it. Please make a box, a table, so that it looks good. Presentation is also very important in exam. I hope you all had copied the question earlier. Now please copy this. I hope this is very clear. Please copy the remaining part, and henceforth your operating leverage is completed. I have already solved an illustration and how to interpret, or I'll write it over here, comment. This is very important because at times the exam the examiner asks us to comment on our solution. So we should know to comment. If you know this, it will fetch you full marks, because this sums comes for 4 marks max. If you don't interpret it, they may straight give you 2 marks. If you interpret it properly, they may give 3 or 3.5. So it's your choice what to do. Okay, to learn how to interpret or not to learn, it is all up to you. If you have not listened my previous video, please go and listen the previous video first, because this is all small things are very important. This all sums comes for 4 marks. Unnecessary, you all know entire thing, just you don't know how to interpret may make a loss. Okay, and 1 marks in IPCC exam, in CA exam is a huge loss. I hope you all know if you all have given many attempts. Okay.